Stress is a natural response that occurs when you perceive a threat, challenge, or demand, whether real or perceived. Imagine the mind as a meticulously arranged library where each book represents a memory, an emotion, or a thought. Now envision a storm, thunderous and wild, rampaging through this library, tossing books from shelves, turning over chairs, and shattering silence. This metaphor conveys the chaos stress can wreak on our mental landscape, potentially leading to lasting mental health disorders. Stress, often perceived as a temporary annoyance by many, can have profound and enduring effects on our psychological well being. As our world grows increasingly complex, the hustle and intensity of daily routines often leave individuals grappling with significant levels of stress. This essay seeks to untangle the threads of how stress contributes to the development of mental disorders and outlines strategies to mitigate its effects. By understanding the intricate dance between our physiological responses to stress and its psychological repercussions, we can equip ourselves with tools to maintain mental health and harmony. Stress defined, tracing the roots. Stress, in its most biological sense, is the body's response to any demand or challenge. When faced with a threat, the body's defenses kick into high gear in a rapid, automatic process known as the fight or flight response. However, not all stress is hostile. Eustress or positive stress can act as a motivator for growth and heightened performance. Conversely, when stress overwhelms our capacity to cope, it becomes distress, leading to a plethora of adverse mental and physical effects. This initial physiological reaction, characterized by the release of hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol, prepares the body for immediate action. In the short term, these hormones are lifesavers. However, their prolonged presence in our system, typically caused by chronic stress, can significantly undermine our mental health, leading to anxiety, depression, and other psychological issues. Stress stems from numerous sources: work pressures, financial difficulties, relationship problems, major life changes, or even chronic illnesses. Recognizing these stressors and understanding how they affect our mental framework is the first step in safeguarding our mental health. From stress to disorder, the psychological cascade, the pathway from experiencing stress to developing a mental disorder, is not direct. It's influenced by individual vulnerability, the nature of the stressor, and existing coping mechanisms. Chronic stress disrupts our brain's stress response system, distorting neurotransmitter systems involved in mood regulation, such as serotonin and dopamine. This biochemical disarray can reduce our ability to think clearly, make decisions, and control emotions, setting the stage for mental disorders. Research delineates that chronic stress can actually remodel the brain structure. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt to experiences, works both ways. It can lead to strengthening of certain pathways, but also to detrimental changes. For instance, prolonged stress can shrink the hippocampus, an area vital for memory and learning, and enhance the amygdala, which governs our fear responses, contributing to heightened anxiety and stress sensitivity. The final twist in the tale occurs when these altered brain structures and diminished neurotransmitter functions entangle, leading to clinically significant mental health problems like anxiety disorders, major depressive disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Understanding these mechanisms highlights the critical need to manage stress before it crystallizes into a more severe mental health issue. Fortifying the mind, strategies for prevention. Acknowledging the profound impact of stress on mental health, it's imperative to discuss strategies that can prevent this debilitating progression. Evidence-based methods such as mindfulness, regular physical activity, and cognitive behavioral techniques have shown significant promise in not only managing stress, but also enhancing psychological resilience. Mindfulness, the practice of being present and fully engaging with the moment, can modify the way the brain responds to stress and anxiety. It helps in distancing oneself from stressful thoughts instead of escalating them. Structured mindfulness programs like mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, have been shown to reduce symptoms of various psychological conditions. Physical activity is another cornerstone of stress management. Exercise releases endorphins, natural mood lifters, which play an essential role in reducing stress, improving sleep, and boosting self-esteem. Meanwhile, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, helps individuals reframe negative thinking patterns related to stress, providing tools to manage stressful situations more effectively. Conclusively, integrating these practices into daily life not only guards against the development of stress-related disorders, but also enhances overall well-being. It's about building a resilient mind that can negotiate the storm without losing its fundamental structure. In conclusion, stress is an ubiquitous aspect of modern life, but its management is within our grasp. By understanding the psychological mechanisms through which stress can lead to disorder and employing proven prevention strategies, we can maintain not just mental health, but also a life of richness and fulfillment. Let us remember, a storm can only disrupt an unprepared mind.